With the release date only a month away, EA has finally let Team Eurogamer go hands-on with the single-player portion of Battlefield V, or if you'd rather, Battlefield 5. Although, considering Battlefield V is like the 16th game in the series or something, and the last game was called Battlefield 1, I think EA is just out to troll us with their naming conventions at this point. Anyway, nomenclature nonsense aside, the anthology-style single-player war stories from Battlefield 1 are back, but this time you'll be playing through campaigns based around the untold stories of World War II. And what do I mean by untold? Well, World War II affected pretty much everyone in the world, but the stories told within Battlefield 5 are not about tough guy super soldiers pulling off impossible missions in order to win the war. Here, they're more about the personal stories, they're about the things that drive the human emotions within each of us, and they're about the incredible sacrifices that ordinary people were forced to make in order to prevent evil from winning the day. At launch, there are 3 different war stories available, plus a short prologue mission, and there's a 4th war story due to be released later in December, and each one is set in a different country and features a different protagonist. So let's take a look at what's in store for you when the game releases. Let's start with the Nordlys campaign. This one takes place during the invasion of Norway. It's a guerrilla warfare story, and as you're playing as a member of the Norwegian resistance, the entire thing is voiced in Norwegian for added immersion.
Solveig? Mamma? Hva gjør du her?
Fulgt etter deg. Prøver å redde livet ditt.
Kan ikke dra hjem. Tyskerne bygger noe forferdelig, men må finne ut hva det er. Jeg og du, vi er nødt å stoppe det.
Guerrilla warfare is often about being outnumbered and outgunned, but in Nordlys you'll feel especially vulnerable, so approaching the levels with a high degree of stealth is really important. There are entire sections where it's possible to engage the enemy and get into some serious firefights, but thanks to the open environments, it's often much safer to sneak around in the shadows rather than cheesing a linear experience. Solveig, the protagonist of this chapter, is a dab hand with a knife, and this skill with pointy things will not only help you perform silent melee takedowns, but she can also throw them at enemies for long distance kills. Oh wow, I guess that one must have hit an ankle artery or something? Obviously, screwing up the stealth should be avoided for as long as possible, because when you do get spotted, you won't have much, if any, backup, and you'll find yourself in the middle of some really tough firefights. The coolest part of Nordlys though, literally I might add, is the fact that about midway through the level, you get to go skiing. Now obviously you can use this to get about the place quickly and quietly, and trying to stay hidden in the snow gives you a really cool feeling of solitude. But also, it means you can do a cool little run down the roof of this building and set yourself up with a sweet vantage point over some unsuspecting Nazis.
Der er vannet.
The next war story, Under No Flag, features a different kind of hero entirely. While Solveig is drawn on by how intensely the situation is affecting her, Billy Bridger is a career criminal from London who only accepts a position on a special forces unit in order to avoid being locked in the slammer for a large portion of his adult life.
Says on my pad here, criminal use of explosives, assault, attempted armed robbery, arson, attempted armed robbery. Did you try and rob the same bank 3 times?
No.
Oh, yes, you did. Because you're Billy Bridger. You are the son of big, bad, horrible Arthur Bridger. I'm Arthur fucking Bridger. Give me the fucking money.
This creates quite the contrast in campaigns, because here, Billy is being pushed along every step of the way, cussing and complaining his way through a situation he hates, whilst also being afraid to engage with anything more than is absolutely necessary.
Do you like the fucking seaside?
Teams of 2, move.
Oi! I'm sick! I'm chucking me guts up over here!
Oh.
And you're just strolling off!
Oh, Bridger, liven yourself up, come on. There's a lovely little ice cream shop down there and I'm treating you to a cornet.
It's more of a ragged, frenetic experience, and in the early portion of the level, you'll be tasked with assaulting an airfield to try and blow up some German bombers. While all this is playing out, you'll hear Billy constantly arguing with his superiors, saying stuff about how he can't believe the situation he's in, and basically how horrible being a combatant is.
You made a right Albert Halls of that, didn't you, Bridger?
Try not to get your head blown off. There's a good lad.
Presumably, he'll get more hardened to the reality of his situation as the war story progresses, but it was interesting to feel his fear and, basically, his outrage in the early portion.
Of course there is. Of course. Oh, you son of a bitch. It's my turn now.
Hey, hey! Il faut garder ton calme. Ne joue pas les héros. Hein? Reste en vie, petit frère. Hein?
Unfortunately, we didn't get any hands-on time with this next level, so I can't speak about it in too much detail, but nevertheless, we do have some footage of Tirailluer to show you. Tirailluer is set during Operation Dragoon, as 500,000 Allied troops land and then push their way into southern France. This mission looks like it follows the Senegalese Tirailleurs, a corps of colonial infantrymen who are fighting to liberate a homeland they've never even seen.
Et barrage droit devant.
All I've got for you for the final war story is this single solitary screenshot, and that's because The Last Tiger won't be released until December. For quality reasons, aka it just wasn't ready in time for launch, this chapter will be provided as a free download once it's ready. What we do know about The Last Tiger is that it's played from the perspective of the Germans, and it will be a tank-specific war story. Finally, if you thought Battlefield 1's war stories were a bit short, you'll be happy to hear that you aren't alone, and that DICE has heard all of your concerns. This time, all of the war stories are meant to be roughly the same length, and, going by our playthrough of Nordlys, that means each one will clock in at about an hour and a quarter, depending on skill level and approach to the situations. While this doesn't exactly add up to a fully fledged single-player campaign like some of you might have been expecting, this, coupled with a greater focus on overall quality, should mean that those of you out there hoping for a meaty single-player portion shouldn't be too disappointed. And there we go. Hopefully all this footage has primed you for Battlefield 5's war stories. Truth be told, while I think they do look pretty great, I'm more excited to try out the Battle Royale mode when that becomes available, so do come back for our thoughts on that when we're able to give them. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, click the end of that bell thing to get notifications on all of our uploads, and do have a lovely day. Goodbye.
Hello, sweetheart. There. One safecracker special, courtesy of Billy Bridger.